3, 2, 1.
Howdy folks. Alright, we are working on the new project boat. If you didn't, jump back and check the last video that we put out on the boat. Basically just going over what we got and what's going on. Let me preface this by saying, guys, I'm not a boat builder. I'm not a boat mechanic. I'm a guy that knows just enough to get himself in trouble. So basically, again, just to touch on this boat, the shop started the process of a repower. Had a 200 EFI Merc on it, and that popped, I'm assuming, and now it's got a 225 Optimax on it. And basically they started the engine swap but did not finish the swap. So there's a lot of loose ends, a lot of stuff that needs to be connected, hooked up, stuff like that. So it's going to be a learning process. I'm probably not going to get it right on the first try, but first off, I've got this lower cover right here, part of the lower unit, and then that's where it bolts to this piece here. These were missing, so I just ran down to Ace Hardware and grabbed it. I do not, my tap and die set stops at half 13. These bolts down here are actually they are, golly, what are they? They're 9/16. They're a 9/16 thread. So I don't have a tap for it. So what I'm gonna do, I've got my Milwaukee drill here. I've just got a wire brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and just go in here like so and clean that rust out. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to set the camera up to catch me doing that. Hopefully you can see me. I'm not good at what I do, apparently, so. All right, guys, I'm gonna cut this, get this all sanded down. I don't have a good tripod, so I'll catch back up to you when these are sanded down, and we'll start tightening this bottom end up. All right, guys, got that cleaned up as best as it's gonna be. Good enough for who it's for, because it's for me. If this was a customer, I would probably be doing a little bit more strategic job on it. So then we got that threading down on that, and I'm gonna go ahead, I've got the other side there. I'm going to go ahead right now and bust open the toolbox, go ahead and grab the ratchet and wrench for this, and go ahead and get busy on that. All right, well, hopefully you guys can see me here, what we've got going on. Should have used my Milwaukee impact here to get them started, and then because I'm using crush nuts, I call them stover nuts, crush nuts, prevailing torque nuts, whatever you want to call them. I don't know if that's what was here from the factory or not, but I'm not taking any chances with it, so. That seems pretty darn snug right there, guys. So there's one down. And then this one's the one that worries me a little bit, because it is rusty, rusty, rusty. Rusty, rusty, rusty. Big time rust on this side here. Okay, let's see if we can't get this one started here. Oh, golly. I ain't as strong as I once was, folks. Catching all these giants really wears my arms out, right? Oh no, see, that's what I'm worried about. This is what I'm dealing with currently. Look at all the rust on that bolt back there. What can you do? Hopefully you guys are seeing this okay. I'm not blocking too much of you. Let's go ahead, put the old impact on it real quick. Be careful running these Milwaukee impacts, guys. If you're not familiar, these things will really ruin your frickin' day. There it is right there, folks, and the bottom is bolted. Now we'll snug her up just to make sure that's not what's going on. Sorry about that, guys. I caught the cable charging my GoPro. So let's go ahead and check these. Yep, that's about as snug as it's gonna get there. And then let's jump over on this one. Let's see. There we go. All right, that's tight on there, guys. All right, well, these lower ones right here are done. It's gonna be those right there. Boom, boom. Now I gotta try to find, I believe there's a cover that actually goes on this to cover this up from the factory. So I'm going to go ahead and see what we can do as far as that goes. I just realized I made a boo-boo. So I think that grounding strap was supposed to go there. I'm not 110% sure. We'll figure that out here in a second. I'm gonna try to grab a Mercury diagram offline and check. But anyways, guys, that's it right there. And that's what we're rolling with. And I guess we'll see what we can come up with on that front. And I'm gonna jump up. I got to try to figure out how to re-jockey this. If you can't tell, that is not lined up. So it's gotta go, I think, a jack and a block of wood under the bottom of the jack plate right here. And jack that up, and it should cock it a little bit to the side like this. And I'll be able to drive them bolts through. So let me go grab a floor jack, guys, and see if we can't get something going with this. I'm gonna find a small block of wood in that, and I'll be right back to you. All right, guys, hopefully you can see kind of what I've got going on right now. I'm flying solo, so that's kind of what I'm dealing with. I'm going to attempt to go ahead and get these holes lined up. I'm using this bar right here. I use this, I used this on cars. See, I've worked on cars pretty much my entire life. I'm not a mechanic or anything like that. I never claimed to be. I'm just a guy that got fairly decent at putting a motor together. So I use this to line holes up, different stuff like this. But what I'm going to do is use this to line that and be able to use this to move it left or right, up, down, whatever I gotta do, in theory. Now, granted, these little guns right here aren't gonna move a 225 very well, but we'll see what we can do. Lines up like that with that pin. Then that should get us, in theory, lined up on the other one. Just got a stainless bolt right here, guys. Now, by lining that up with that, now our hole right there is in line. So let's go ahead and move the camera on this for you guys here. Hopefully, God, this angle's probably all screwed for you guys. I'm sorry, y'all. One day I'll be good, like all the big fancy YouTubers. Maybe. Okay, so that'll go now, finally. So let's go ahead and get this on. Get this driven in home here. Remember, guys, anything's a hammer if you swing it hard enough. See what I did there? Now, let's go on the back side of the jack plate here. So how does he have it? Okay, so the bolts go from the inside out. So let's go ahead and drop down in now that that's in line. There we go. There's that bolt right there through, folks. See it right there. Get the nut on. I don't care who you are. Washers are directional. Alrighty, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and snug this one up for right now, for the simple fact that I do not want the others moving. So let me find where old brain dead me put everything. There's A, there's B. Okay, cool. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get the old impact fired up right now. Just a Milwaukee 1/2 inch impact. You don't need an impact, but I've gotten lazy in my older age, so. All right, let's go ahead, get this one up on there. That should be good to roll there. All right, folks, there's one down on that. Let's go ahead, slide over. What I'm gonna do is tighten this top bolt too, right here. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'm gonna tighten that top bolt too to keep it from walking. That's all I'm doing there on that one. All right, hop in here and grab this one, hit it real quick. See, then that pin fell right out, which means it should be dead lined up, ready to rock and roll now too on that end. Shout out Ace Hardware. Ace Hardware, you've saved my life a couple of times here between race cars and boats and home projects and everything else. Sponsor me, Ace. Ace is a place for the helpful hardware fishing folks. Shout out to my local Ace Hardware, where I know 0 of you watch me, but I still got love for you. All right, so in theory, we should be able to go up through, find our spot. Run our bolt through, in theory. It's going, it's just tight. It's very tight, guys. Tight like a toiga. Okay, there's that. And let's get the impact on her. Try to, at least. All right. Guys, I'm gonna cut this. I'll be right back. I gotta go grab an extension and I'll be right back. All right, guys, back in a flash. I just had to get an extension in here on it. There's that one, guys. I'm gonna buzz over and hit the other side here real quick just to double up the bolting on her. Hit this side real quick. Now I'll go through with my big wrench and just check everything and do all that. I definitely got way too long of a bolt back here, but what can you do? That one. Yep. Hopefully you guys are able to see that. I'm gonna have to get me a different tripod. Okay, guys, let's get here and get this one. I'm just gonna run and hit the other side real quick and the motor's done. Good, folks, we got a motor. There she is, guys, all bolted on. Got the top and bottom, boom, boom, right there. Got that, got those lower pieces done. that's that on that part. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to, what am I gonna do? I think I'm gonna run the fuel and oil lines to the motor so we can go ahead and get this thing fired up. So how about I see you guys there on this first episode of CD2 Fishing's boat build series. But all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead, clean up what I've done so far here and jump on that. Actually, while I have the jack out, I'm gonna throw my spare tire on, which I think you guys know how to change a spare tire. So if you don't, I'll show you. But I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that real quick, guys, and then I'll see you in the boat to start plumbing. We'll see you there. Okay, guys, we got the motor going. Basically, the fuel line is rotten, for lack of a better term. It's as hard as a rock. I can't even, that's everything I got. It ain't going. So we're just gonna go ahead and replace this fuel line. It comes up right here on the side of the pump. Right there. Actually, I think that's the regulator, not the pump. The pump's right here. Yeah, that's the regulator. Let me go grab a flathead screwdriver out of the boat and I'll be right back. If I can give you guys one piece of advice, put yourself an emergency toolkit in your boat. Watertight sealed box. This is a cheap one from Bass Pro Shops. It's like $15.99 for this sealed box. I don't keep anything crazy in there. It's just screwdrivers, some zip ties, some fuses. You get the point. Obviously, I'm not set up to do a full-blown engine teardown repair on the water, but I'd like to at least be able to think I can manage to find my way home. So there's a lot of miscellaneous stuff on this boat that I don't quite know where it goes, so on and so forth. So we're going to be playing with fire a little bit. Just trial and error stuff, I would say. Alright, that hose clamp's off. Let me grab my pliers really quickly. Alright guys, we're going to try pliers here. So anytime you've got a hose like this that has just been sitting for some time, it is not going to want to come off properly. So sometimes you just got to twist her back and forth a little bit, move here and there. You get the picture. And then try to get it and work it down. There it is, off like that. Go ahead and fish that hose clamp off there. Put that there for now. And let's go ahead and get that out. Fish it down through like so. There's the old fuel line out, guys. I'm gonna go grab the new fuel line and I'll be right back to you. Alrighty folks, 3/8 fuel injection hose from my good friends at O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Fun fact, I used to work for O'Reilly's as a commercial parts manager. What was I thinking back then? I'm just kidding. I got love for all my O'Reilly's folks from back in the day. Good people. Don't tell them I said that, because then they'll think I'm getting soft in my old age. Just fish that line down through like that. Pretty self-explanatory on the routing on this puppy here. Just fish her down on through, back through this line, back in, and bada bing, bada boom. There you're through. Stainless steel hose clamps. Make sure you put it on before you start fishing through there, because that's how you slice your fingers open or get stuck. Hose clamps are a tool of the devil. I don't care what anybody says. Tool of the freaking devil. flathead. Loosen that clamp up just a hair. And let's get her back on there, just snugged enough so she doesn't slide. All right, now the painstaking process of fishing old girl back up in here. It's kind of a pain because the way it's sitting on a lip right there. I don't know if you guys can see this. There's a lip and it actually sits up under this gasket right here. So it's just in a really freaking tricky spot to get to. Let me get you guys leaned back here. Hopefully you've got a good bird's eye vantage point of the motor. All right, she should be snug. You can reach your fingernail up under there on either side. It's easier to go from the back and feel it actually slide up on there. So let's go ahead. I just got to back this hose clamp off. I do that. I just snug the hose clamp up slightly down from the connection point, and I snug it back down just so it doesn't drop. And then you've got to fish it out like you've got your fuel filter, fuel water separator filter, all that under here. It's just a freaking pain. So I do it like that. To each their own on that though. You know what I mean on that. Everybody's gonna have their set ways of just style and technique and stuff like that. So I'm a very habit oriented person, so I do everything just about the same exact way. So, which is probably why I've never worked for a dealership in the automotive business, because I do everything my own way. So there's that. So we got that there. And get her snugged up. There you go, guys. Fuel line is plumbed. It's coming out of the bottom. I am missing this cover. I have to find that cover. I'm hoping eBay can come through for me. So guys, I am going to go ahead and switch things up. I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera in the boat. I'm gonna get myself up in the boat and go ahead and start fishing this fuel line down into the tank. We'll catch you there, guys. I'm gonna go wipe some of this grease up off my hands that I got from the hub when I was putting the spare tire on, so I don't get any grease on the carpet and get yelled at. I don't know, I'll yell at myself. Maybe Mama CD2 will yell at me for messing the boat up too, because I tear everything up. But all right, guys, I'm gonna jump off here, wash my hands real quick, go ahead, jump up in the boat. I'll see you guys there. All right, guys, I just have a temporary battery in there to get the motor to fire earlier, just a test fire. I have to route the line through. I just figured I'd set the camera up. The line's gonna come through back here. All right, it's fished in there now, folks. So I just gotta get my big old meat paws back in here. See if I can feel where she come through at. That ain't it, is it? Just like that, folks. Bring her on in. About as simple as that right there. Make sure when you're doing this, guys, you give yourself enough room back on the motor. So back here, you're gonna want to give yourself enough room on that. That way, whenever you put like a cable organizer, sorry guys, when you put a cable organizer, everything's together. You know what I mean? It just simplicity. That's all it is. But I'm gonna jump out of here real quick, make sure that that is right. I'm gonna put a zip tie on it so it doesn't move, and we'll go ahead and get everything hooked up at the tank down here. We'll see you then. All right, folks, we're back in the back of the boat still. Hopefully you guys are able to see that. We're just gonna cut this fuel line to length here. It's gonna go on your fitting right here. That's your anti-siphon fitting right there. And then just your 90-degree down into the tank. By golly, I eyeballed this perfectly, huh? So we're just gonna go cut her right about here. Pro tip there, guys, get you a PVC cutter. It'll cut fuel hose with ease. Nice, clean, and even too, guys. Nice, clean, and even. Exactly how you want it to go. Got my fuel line clamp here. Now we're just getting this mocked up, guys. I'm actually going to siphon this tank out. The camera turned a little bit here. I'm gonna siphon some of this stuff out. Seems to be quite a bit of fuel in here right now. Probably 20 or so gallons of fuel. Yay. Just shove her up over that fitting like so. Actually, I gotta loosen that clamp just a hair. That clamp's a little wop-ma-jawed there. There we go. Back over just 3/8 barbs like so. And that's it right there. But like I said, we're gonna go ahead and siphon it. I'm not gonna finish clamping it all the way down right now. I'm actually going to take this fitting out of the tank and stick a transfer pump tube down there and suck all this fuel out and see what's going on with it. But all right, guys, I need to run back to the parts store and grab a hold down strap for the oil tank. I'm going to mount the oil tank down here on the floor, and I just got to have a way to strap it down. I am going to come in here and scrub all this down, vac this whole compartment out. I've got a little purple power degreaser. We're going to hit it, scrub everything down with a hard bristle brush, get it all cleaned up. Again, that's just an old battery. Actually, that's one of the original batteries I had in the Stealth before I went lithium. So, but yep, there's that. So the batteries are going to go all along the back right there. Battery charger is going to mount right there, or actually it's going to mount right there. Yep, the battery charger is going to mount right there, and then the oil tank's going to mount right there, and then we'll have clean access down here. This boat does have a through-hole transducer I just found, so I got to figure that out, see what that transducer is, or even if it's good. I've never run a through-hole transducer before, so I don't even exactly know what the benefit of them is. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead, cut all this off, and I think that's probably gonna do it for this video. Actually, I might keep going. I don't know. We'll see. You'll either see the end of me or you'll see more of me. But regardless, you still got to see me either way, because I'll do an outro. See? All right, we'll catch you guys in a second. All right, guys. I didn't realize how late in the day it was getting, and we have a few places we need to go, so that tells me it's time to wrap this one up. So far, update, if you're following along, we got the motor bolted the rest of the way up down here. We got everything lined up on the jack plate, since it was just kind of snugged up on there from the initial time of hanging the motor. We were able to get all 4 bolts lined up, and we also, remember, got in there, got the fuel line changed, and started getting some routing done. Just kind of haphazardly mounted up some of the cables that are running. I'm going to go ahead and get one of the nice foam covers, the neoprene covers for that, once that's all dialed in. But before I do that, I got to figure out if I'm going to get power poles or if I'm going to run blade or talons or not. So, but anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get cleaned up, finish up listening to old Luke Duncan on the Low Budget Live podcast, and go eat some food tonight. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Appreciate y'all following along. Can't wait to see where this takes us. Bye, y'all.